lot of work to be done, and this is almost everywhere. I've seen not just the leaders but the teams as well saying that this is not a work I want to be doing, right? So I don't want to sit on hold for like
for
20 minutes and then.
So you're saying you can get them about 88 to 90% of the way there on the pure AI side.
So almost 90% of the cases we go through the automated system.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. AI is not that. AI is a bit more like you hiring a college kid and getting them to do a job. Soon you'll have like a 25 experienced employee, and you can suddenly have like 20 of them just like that, and they won't leave cities. Will in the next 3 to 5 years reduce itself into a click of a button, right? And
all right, people are going to hold you to that. Welcome back to The Doers, the podcast where we dive into the real stories of building, struggling, and thriving in dentistry. I'm your host, Dan Hall. Today, I'm joined by Jofin, the CEO and founder of Needletail, an AI technology tackling revenue cycle management in the dental space. Jofin, welcome to the show. Thanks for taking time out to meet with me today.
Thanks for having me, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to be in this podcast because this is one of the most amazing podcasts in dentistry. That's great. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. I appreciate the ego stroke. Thanks, man. So Jofin, tell me a little bit about your story. I mean, I know there's a lot of companies out there, especially in the AI space.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting crowded.
Yeah.
What's your backstory? How did you get to where you are today?
Sure. So I've been a founder. I've been a startup person for quite some time in technology. So primarily AI, machine learning. So it's been like close to 15 years. So this is my third company. The first one we built and sold back in 2016. Then I started
what was that company though? You're so casual about it. I built it. I sold it.
So that was in sales intelligence, as we call it. A lot of boring stuff. But then we were helping. 360-degree profiling of prospects inside CRMs.
Okay.
So for sales teams, and we would like bring in all the information about people, what was publicly available on the internet, and bring it all together into a CRM system so that sales teams are more efficient. So yeah, that was a business, and we sold it. Spent some time with the company that acquired us. Then started a second one during COVID, more in healthcare, related to healthcare. It was in early childhood and parenting. It was more of a passion project since my child was born. I was really into it. And at that point of time, we partnered with multiple doctors, options, and started developing products for parents or content for parents, etc. And then after COVID, wrapped it down, and then went to venture. I was a partner at a venture fund, a VC fund, for roughly 2 years, working with multiple startups, investing into startups.
Okay.
And again, seeing the space evolving at that point of time, right? So with AI and how the new technology was like coming in so fast, and soon realized that, hey, my world is building. So I couldn't be like stuck in a VC world, and decided to start again. So that's how it came, and partnered with a longtime friend and partner of mine, and got started. Both of us together, we started. Yeah, so
cool.
that's Needletail.
No, that's a great journey. I like it. I like how you're self-aware enough to say, okay, I'm done with the VC side, and I got to get back to the doing side, right?
Yeah,
of the building the company.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Nothing beats the excitement of that.
Yeah. So you decided to go and do something. Why dentistry? I mean,
yeah. So more than dentistry, I started with RCM as a problem, or revenue cycle, or insurance engagement as a problem. So roughly 2 years back, a buddy of mine was telling about this problem and had this opportunity where we, from an insurance company standpoint, looking at all the inefficiencies in the system and solving that. So at that point of time, we explored that a bit. We spoke to multiple people in the industry. So there was this opportunity which we're actually looking at as well. And very soon, I realized that really all the inefficiencies in the system, these are, the insurance companies are not the ideal ones who want to solve all those inefficiencies, right? So sometimes they are, most of the times, they are beneficiaries of those inefficiencies.
Sure.
The heat of all those inefficiencies are actually taken by these practices or hospitals or hospital systems, which actually results in them putting a lot of extra resources, a lot of extra money, a lot of pain and time and energy going through to solve all those inefficiencies in the system. And I soon realized that, hey, if we were to solve this problem, we solve it for the practices and the hospitals or the providers in the industry. So decided on that to be a great opportunity. And RCM, as you know, it's a huge space, like $200 billion being spent across healthcare in the US for just doing RCM, or essentially for just getting paid.
For collecting the money that's due.
Yeah, that is $200 billion, right? So, and this money is being spent on heavily manual, labor-intensive processes, very inefficient and very highly non-standard in a lot of ways as well. So, and being a builder in AI and having seen that evolution over like 10 plus years, I knew for a fact that this is the right time where we can actually solve it, right? So whatever is currently a heavily manual process with a lot of people, processes, complexities, will in the next 3 to 5 years reduce itself into a click of a button, right? And that's definitely happening, right? So that change is happening, and we wanted to build in that space. Then we thought, okay, so we need some place, a place to really focus on. Because in AI, everything is about focus, right? So depth and focus, and that's when you build great AI systems. So, sure. We spoke to a lot of different verticals inside healthcare. I found that the problems are very unique in dental, and I found all the dental partners whom I spoke to be amazingly well receiving. And open to changes, open to experimenting with ideas, etc. So found some great early partnerships like CareStack to integrate with and get started with. So a lot of I would say a lot of things came together for me to choose that, hey, dental is the place I would start.
No, thanks for sharing that. It's interesting to see how you got into that. So you were in healthcare broadly, and now you're in dentistry to have that focus and depth.
I explored healthcare broadly and decided on dentals to start. So I was never in healthcare broadly. Yeah, it was more of the discovery process.
So, thanks for sharing that. So if we go and we take a look at this, I mean, it's a crowded space when we think of AI and healthcare in general. How are you all different? Like, if I take a look at that, right, there's tons of RCM AI platforms out there. Yeah. What's different with Needletail?
So first of all, I'll take a dig on the crowded angle of it, right? So because if you really look at it, as I said, general healthcare, $200 billion market, and majority of this are services companies, outsourced services companies. The largest services company in that market is like $2.25 billion in revenue, right? The largest AI RCM company is probably like $40 million in revenue, right? So it's not really crowded if you look at the space of the size of the market, right? So, but
you compete with the manual people though too, right? Like if we look at the crowd, right? You're going to want to take a slice of that. Yeah, 2.5 billion.
Yeah, but the way I see it, that's like the change from, say, a keypad phone to a smartphone, right? So that's I don't see that as a long-term competition at all, right? So because there's a fundamental shift that is happening all through our life, not just dentistry or not just RCM, but all through our life with AI, and that change is happening. And we are actually now talking about like far more advanced systems. Like our systems, which do like 45-minute phone calls with an insurance company and collecting all the data, right? So you couldn't think of something like that 3 years back. Now,
wait a second. When you say a 45-minute phone call, how's your system doing that? Is that AI doing the phone call, or is it a person?
It's purely AI doing the phone call, right? So an AI dialing in, talking to the insurance company, collecting all the eligibility data, and bringing it back together, right? So.
Do they do anything to stop that from happening? Or like I could see the payers like throwing some blockades your way.
Yeah. So essentially, maybe 70% of our calls go in without any problems at all, right? So, and more than 50% of our calls, they don't even identify it's an AI, right? So, so the way I see it, what we have been experiencing is, as long as the AI is smart and not be stupid in the conversation, generally people are okay with it. And the places where I'm not talking to AI and bang the call is when the AI is stupid, right? So they waste their time, right? So they keep asking the same question again and again, or not understanding what the other person is saying, etc. Because we have to understand on the other side as well, it's a big call center and they are cranking through these calls, and when they feel that it's a waste of their time, that's when they bang the call, right? So, but then if the AI is smart enough and smart enough just like a human and having a normal conversation, they won't do it, right? So so for us, the goal is to make it really smart and make it like a good, enjoyable conversation with the other side, right? So then problem is solved. It's just about how good the AI is, right?
No, that's fascinating. So does that kind of go back to your depth piece there?
Absolutely. Yeah. So depth in dental, the depth in understanding how these systems work, how these questions are being asked, what are the nuances of these questions, etc. So that's a whole game, right? So if you just plug in a OpenAI and something and call it a voice system, it more often than not it won't work, right? So you need that depth.
So if I'm a practice owner or DSO executive and I've tried one of your peers out there, it might be because they're trying to be too general and they're working in other verticals in healthcare. Maybe they don't have that depth.
It could be, right? So obviously
it could be a number of things.
Yeah, it could be a number of things. Just the maturity of the system.
Okay.
And this is something that I keep hearing all the time, right? So I tried a bunch of AI, it doesn't work, etc. So either it is like halfway through or just doesn't work. And I'll explain the halfway through piece, which is if you take eligibility verification alone, right? So typically the current market space of AI is where you do the easy parts with AI and push the difficult parts back to the practice, right? So anything that you get from a portal, the AI goes in and picks it and collects it. But if it really requires a phone call, goes back to the practice or goes to a human team. That's typically the stage of AI now. Now, what we believed right from the beginning as a design principle is we do it or not do it, right? So not do halfway through, right? So we just go in and complete the whole thing, the whole cycle, right? So where the portal visits, collecting information from portals, collecting information through a phone call. And if our AI fails, we'll fix it with human in the loop as well, which is like 10 to 12% of our cases, where we get like failure cases where human has to intervene, either to fill in or to QA check, etc. Right? So we have the whole cycle.
Well, that was something I was going to ask. I'm glad you brought that up. I was curious because I get asked about this all the time, or talking to people about AI. It's like, how far along can I get, right? Because I think they're realizing they might not replace 100% of the human.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
They're augmenting the process.
Yeah.
But how far? So you're saying you can get them about 88 to 90% of the way there on the pure AI side.
Yeah. What I was saying is 10% of the cases a human touches there in one way or the other. It can be a QA check. It can be like a couple of information we didn't get it right, or we really didn't get it through the AI system. So just for those information, a human comes in and intervenes in some way or the other. So so that's the case, right? So almost 90% of the cases we go through the automated system.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So what the practices or DSOs you're working with, what do you see them doing with the as far as changing that labor force that they already have that was doing this task before?
Yeah.
Are they reducing the size of that team, or are they repurposing those folks?
Yeah, in almost all the cases that we have seen, it's repurposing, because there's quite a lot of work to be done, and this is almost everywhere. I've seen not just the leaders, but the teams as well, saying that this is not a work I want to be doing, right? So I don't want to sit on hold for like
for
20 minutes and then the total call size of like call duration of like 45 minutes. That's not an enjoyable task. And more often than not, it's someone in the front office who's actually doing this. And while you're on a call, someone walks in and that becomes a challenge. And if it is it's a mid-sized DSO, they might be actually bringing it all together into one single team. Even then, out of all the billing activities, verification is one activity that no one wants to be doing, right? So
no one likes that. I hear that all day long. Like if that could just go away.
Yeah.
Be a godsend for most of these practices.
Right. Which is exactly why we started with that. We started right there because that's the most painful activity, right? So, and no one wants to do it. And even the people who actually want to do it, who are doing it, they just do not want to.
So then you see them just repurposing them towards other tasks that still need to be done. Because you're right. They're busy. There's labor shortages. Cost of labor is going up, right? They can't add enough people to that.
Because I believe this has a people problem, because finding the right people to actually do this, training them, and making them like effectively do this is a huge task, and even it's tough to actually get those people. That's clearly a people labor challenge or finding labor challenge.
Well,
there.
nobody ever had aspirations to sit on hold for 40 minutes as part of their function of their job or their career.
Exactly.
So as we look at that, I mean, that's an impressive number. Because I'm hearing a lot of other people out there in the space saying anywhere from 71 to 83% that the coverage, and you guys are pushing up to 90.
Yeah.
What segment of the market do you see this being the most impactful? Is it the individual practice? Is it that emerging DSO? Is it the enterprise DSOs? Where does this have the most impact on the business?
I think scale is what this supports the best, right? So so more than individual practices, as you scale your operation, you want to actually look at efficiencies. You want to look at consolidating your insurance operations together, etc. That's a stage when the problem starts hitting, right? So where you have like 3-member insurance team for a 5-member or a 5 practice DS and 5 location small DSO, and that's when it starts hitting, right?
It's multiplying.
It's multiplying, and then with each addition of each location, each carrier, it becomes like more and more complex. So our sweet spot, or people value it the most when there are like multiple practices, maybe 3+ practices. That's when we see the most demand, and the 3 to 20 range is when where 3 to 30 range is where we have most of our conversations, our customers in. So but large DSOs, the enterprise DSOs as well have a pain. It's just that we haven't gotten there.
No, that's good. I was kind of assuming that might be the case. I just wanted to see what your thoughts are on it. I'm wondering where you see things going as far as like technology in the dental space. Now you've been here, you're building this product. It seems like you're having great success on your outcomes. I used to say up to 5 years, but let's just go the next, maybe 1 to 2. 1 to 2 years. What do you see shifting in the dental space when it comes to tech and AI?
Right. So of course, like every other space, as I said earlier, there's a foundational shift that is happening, right? So I like to see it in 2 different ways. So on one side, there is democratization of technology that is happening, or your ability to build a new thing. I mean, build and use things on your own is changing like crazy. I always
vibe coding, right?
Vibe coding and doing building small things for yourself.
Sure.
I kind of draw a parallel to how smartphones came and how video changed, right? So right now we are in a professional setting with the great cameras and everything around us, right? So all lighting and everything, but at the same time there are like millions of people out there making videos with their phone and still doing video, right? So just like that, and 15 years back this was not the case, right? So before smartphones came, only the professionals used to make videos, right? So now there are professionals who are doing amazing stuff like the studio, and at the same time there are people with a phone camera who's doing amazing stuff as well, right? So on one side, AI will enable every single person in an office, from the front office staff to back office to the doctor, everyone to do more amazing stuff. Be it like building a small tool for reporting, for analysis, for small conversations, etc. And at the same time, there'll be like these deep AI systems, like what we are building or what an imaging system is building, etc., which will enable this practice to be like 10x better in terms of efficiency, in terms of scalability, etc. Right? So, and as we keep saying, like just focus on the patient mostly, and not focus on the rest of the things around it. And that is what is happening, right? And in our space, which is RCM, as I told earlier, I truly believe in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be a click of a button. The whole interfacing with the insurance is going to be a click of a button.
All right, people are going to hold you to that. Anybody who's listening or watching,
I'd be happy to. Yeah, so it's on record. Yeah, so.
Cool. Like as a founder and a CEO, I mean, it sounds like you're busy. Like look at your history. You talked about starting up a few companies, going to the VC firm. Now you're at Needletail. What do you do to unwind yourself and just disconnect from the business and take care of Jofin?
So family and friends, of course, great. I'm not a person who's like who has got a lot of hobbies, but then I run a bit. I run long distance marathons. So that's one. It's very therapeutic. It's very calming for me. So going through that pain and completing that, it gives you a win as well.
It tracks with the task you've taken on in dentistry, RCM, like one of the most painful things, and you do it as your hobby. That's cool.
So that's probably one hobby that I have.
Okay.
But then I also believe in like making hobby out of whatever you're doing, right? So
Sure.
these days I'm traveling quite a lot, right? So quite a lot on the road. But then now I've started just enjoying it, right?
You just got here with me. Like
Yeah.
we're recording this in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Like just days ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or
So I keep like shuttling across different cities all the time, right?
Okay.
So, and I believe, one way of looking at it is it's hard. There's a lot of travel, a lot of being on the plane and hotel stays and stuff like that. But on the other side, it's like fun to be meeting with a lot of people, being in new places, and there's some point where you need to enjoy what you're doing and the pain through it, and that's fundamental for any startup, I believe, right? So unless
Yeah.
you enjoy it, you can't do it, right? So I just enjoy my work as much as my downtime, so that keeps me sane, right?
Love it. That's good. That's a good, healthy approach. I mean, you're kind of like blending the two together. Real quick before we jump on, I mean, really appreciate you jumping on. Give me your backstory, talking about Needletail, tech in the space. If you had a piece of advice from anybody, the individual practice owner, maybe the larger individual practices, there's a lot of those out there that are heavy producers and they're trying to scale their team and facing issues, to the emerging DSO, to the enterprise, and they're looking at AI right now. What would be your piece of advice as somebody that has been in that space for a long time, what they should be looking for to find the right partner?
Yeah. So I think the first advice would be maybe at the expense of the risk of sounding a bit cliche. So it's fundamentally to embrace, right? So as I said, if you're not using AI at the moment, it'll be like resisting buying an iPhone in 2009 and saying that, hey, I'm going to be on my keypad phone, right? So that's what it is, right? So if you resist, if you not use AI in some capacity, it can be as simple as a ChatGPT or making photos or using Claude to analyze your numbers or whatever, right? So or your charts or whatever, right? So, but in whatever small capacity, just embrace and start using it, right? On your personal capacity. On the other side, on your business, when you bring in professionals in every single aspects of your business, it's about experimenting, right? So there's definitely going to be some failures in the early days,
Sure.
right? So it's about keeping an open mind and experimenting, because it's going to get there, right? So in every single vertical inside a dental office or a DSO, AI is going to come in and make an impact. So if you don't experiment and if you wait for longer, you are losing out. So keeping an experimental mindset is fundamental in AI, because it's a foundational shift.
Sure.
Not everything is going to, it's unlike SaaS. In SaaS, there's a button and you click on the button and it goes there, right? So, and it's very deterministic. AI is not that. AI is a bit more like you hiring a college kid and getting them to do a job and getting them started. So the first 3 months might be tough. They might not do the exact same things that you want them to, but they learn, right? So it's like that.
No, it's a good way to look at it. It's like ramping a new employee.
Yeah.
They're not going to know day one.
Exactly.
You're teaching them as you go.
Exactly. So if you give it enough time and experiment and find out the right employee, the beauty of it is soon you'll have like a 25 experienced employee, and you can suddenly have like 20 of them just like that, and they won't leave. You don't have to bring in a new person and train from the beginning. So you have to be ready to give it that time. And if you keep that experimental mindset, you will be the first person to be the beneficiary of it. So
cool.
Yeah.
Good advice. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
I'm on LinkedIn, on email.
Okay.
Needletail is the website, needletailai.com. There are not just the regular stuff that we build. There are a lot of amazing stuff in there, like a lot of references, small tools that people can use. We build a lot of those using AI and put it out there for people to use. So even if you don't want insurance verification, that's totally fine.
You have other tools on the site they can grab.
Yeah, we can a lot of small tools and small resources out there. So needletailai.com is the website. So totally check it out and be open to try it out, right? So a lot of free tools out there.
Well, Jofin, thanks for joining me today. This was a really good conversation. Appreciate you taking time out. I know you're a busy guy traveling. So thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Dan, and thanks so much for the partnership that we have with CareStack, which is amazing as well.
All right. Well, to everybody watching, listening, appreciate it. If you like the content, keep following us. And until next time, just keep doing the work.